Hey, let's start this review with a little mini game. I'm going to show you right now 5 interior video clips of the different Volvos that we've tested on this channel, and I want you to guess the models in order in the comments below. Bonus points if you can also get the trim and the model year correct. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for this video I'll give you the answer for the first one for free. This is the 2021 Volvo V90 T6 Inscription, and I want to share with you my likes and dislikes about this wagon so that you have a better idea before you buy. Now, when you're shopping for Volvos, there's usually 3 different trims. You have the Momentum, the R Design, and also the Inscription. Momentum being the base trim, R Design being the sporty one, and the Inscription trim being the more luxury-oriented version. This being the V90, it only comes in R Design and Inscription. The one that I'm sitting in is the T6 Inscription model. For the 2021 model years, there's now subtle design changes to the front and rear. The Inscription model gets a restyled front fascia. It now has a seamless chrome trim across the front. The fog light configuration has also changed. You no longer see reflectors. Instead, it's just a simple bulb that blends in real well with the front bumper. Going around back, you'll also find that the LED taillights have also been restyled, and the rear exhaust ports have disappeared in favor of an exhaustless look. You'll also find that seamless chrome trim back here as well. For the R Design, the front bumper has also changed. It now looks a bit more reserved and grown up. The flared front fascia you can find on the earlier models looks like they've shrunk a bit. And just like the Inscription model, the rear end loses the exhaust ports in favor of a simpler look. Personally, I'm kind of disappointed with the facelift for the 2021 model years because I like seeing exhaust tips going out the back. To me, it's a visual cue that it's a more powerful car. Now, not seeing it on the more luxurious Inscription trim is fine, but I don't like the fact that you can't get exhaust tips out the back on the R Design trim because that is the more aggressive and sporty trim. As for the sides, it looks pretty similar to the previous year's models. The Inscription trim has chrome lining along the bottom and also surrounding the side windows, while the R Design loses the chrome in favor of black trim and black side view mirrors. Volvo also makes a cross-country version of the V90. The cross-country is basically a more ruggedized version of the V90. It has a higher ground clearance at 8.3 inches versus the 6 inches of the V90. It also includes a standard all-wheel drive, and visually it adds blacked out wheel arches and blacked out trim that surrounds the entire car. But aside from those changes, the V90 is pretty much the same as the V90 cross country while sitting inside. Now, if you want to know what driving a cross country is like, we've reviewed the V60 cross country, and if you're interested in that review, please click the link up here. Now let's move on to the interior, because this is the best part of Volvo ownership. The cabin looks and feels luxurious. I really like the material selection and the build quality of these modern Volvos. And the ergonomics of all the switches and the buttons are very good. I also like how they've replicated this design across all of their models, that it's sometimes hard to tell what Volvo you're sitting in because it all looks very similar, as you could probably tell from the beginning of this video. My favorite features inside are the digital displays, and I like how all of this is standard across all the Volvo models. You'll find a portrait-oriented 9-inch screen for the infotainment, and you'll find a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster that Volvo calls the digital driver display. Seeing these 2 screens, it immediately feels like you're sitting in a very modern car. The infotainment screen is a glossy touchscreen that's pretty smooth and fast, and it operates just like your modern smartphone. It might be slow to boot up and load things when you're first turning on the car, but after about 20 to 30 seconds or so, it behaves pretty well. And that's a good thing because this screen is used a lot. The controls for a lot of the car settings can be found in here. Settings for your heated and ventilated seats and steering wheel are on here. Your safety sensors can also be enabled or disabled via the screen. And of course, the screen displays your rear view camera and also the 360-degree view when you're parking. As for the digital driver display, you'll get a matte finish screen so it can help cut down some of the glare, and the refresh rate of the screen doesn't seem like it matches the refresh rate of this main screen, so some of the animations don't look as smooth, but you can still find plenty of great information on this display. The next thing I like about this V90 is the design's look and feel. Now, the seats and all the interior is covered in what they call blonde Napa leather, and this is called pitched oak inlays. I don't know what that is, but this looks and feels really nice. And I like these seats a lot as well. Not only are they comfortable, but they look really good. They're also heated and ventilated, and get this, these also massage your back. Now that's a $500 option that is well worth the price. There's also this huge panoramic roof that gives it that luxurious open air feel, especially for the second row passengers. This V90 is also equipped with an optional $3,200 Bowers & Wilkins premium sound system, and that has 19 speakers. Now this has no CD player, so make sure that when you're test driving this, you connect via Bluetooth so you can stream some high bitrate audio to take full advantage of this high-end premium sound system. And it just sounds amazing. This is just something that you have to feel for yourself. And one bonus to getting the sound system is that visually, it also adds all of these interesting elements like the tweeter perched on top of the center speakers, and also the speaker grills, which looks like jewelry. The next thing I like about Volvos is their safety features. Now, Volvos are known for their safety. They've actually invented a lot of the systems that you now use in cars, like the 3-point seatbelt, and some of the more modern safety features like the blind spot monitoring system and also pedestrian detection with automatic braking. Volvo invented those things. So it's nice to see that Volvo has included a lot of those safety features standard on this car. The blind spot monitoring system, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation systems, front and rear park assist, and also the lane keeping system is all standard. And speaking of lane keeping system, this V90 is equipped with pilot assist. I've talked more in depth about the pilot assist and how awesome it is in my review of the XC60, and you can get that installed via a fairly pricey advanced package for the XC60. But in this V90, that comes standard, and I really like the pilot assist system because that can help automate some of the really boring parts of your road trip. As for the V90 size, I personally like the size of the V60 because I prefer smaller cars. But that's really the appeal of the V90. It's bigger in almost all directions. You get more leg room, there's more cargo capacity, and there's more hip and shoulder room as well. And if you're thinking about buying a crossover, you should seriously put this wagon on your test drive list. The utility of this wagon is better than a lot of the SUVs out there. This wagon will drive a lot better than those taller SUVs because this will drive a lot like a sedan, and it will be much more fun to drive. Speaking of fun to drive, this V90 feels pretty awesome on the road. This is the T6 model, which means that it has a 2-liter twin-charged engine. That means that it has a turbocharger and a supercharger, helping that small 2-liter engine produce 316 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. The engine is attached to an 8-speed automatic transmission that, in combination, gives you a really quick and smooth driving experience with pretty decent mileage performance as well at about 21 city and 32 highway. This T6 also happens to have all-wheel drive, which is super helpful considering my current conditions. But if you don't need all-wheel drive, you can go with the T5 model, which is front-wheel drive, and that will also downsize the engine to just the 2-liter with the turbocharger only. So overall, this V90 T6 Inscription is a really solid wagon. It looks gorgeous inside and out, and it is packed with a lot of great features, and it's a lot of fun to drive. Everything is fantastic. Well, not really. My week with the V90 hasn't been without flaws. I did run into a problem where my rear taillight wouldn't turn off. The car's completely off, but the one light is just on all the time. We've got a rear position light malfunction on the Volvo V90, and trying to diagnose what the problem is. You could go to the home screen and you'll see that there's a car status there, and it says rear position light. Let's go to the owner's manual. It's got its own like Wikipedia for owner's car manual built into the screen here. So let's look up rear position light malfunction. Let's just type that in, rear position. Whoops, search term did not return any matches. That's not good. Okay, Well, to be continued. The problem did go away after about 2 on-off cycles, and perhaps it had something to do with the fact that it was about 20 degrees outside in the cold. I'm not sure. The other problem that I had was when I shifted from drive into park, this screen would completely blank out. That only happened once, but once I shifted into reverse, that triggered the camera to turn on, and therefore the screen came back on again. So that might just be one of those weird software bugs, but it's proof that these modern cars are increasingly reliant on sensors and softwares, which could be very difficult to troubleshoot. Now, it's not a problem because you could always take it back to the dealership and it may just be a simple, easy fix, but just be aware that when you are driving this past its warranty, that's just something you have to be careful about. With that being said, do I still recommend the V90? Yes, I do. I really like this wagon. This is a beautiful wagon. And here in Shifting Lanes, we are big fans of wagons. In fact, a Volvo wagon helped launch our channel. And this V90, this might be peak wagon. There's only one other wagon that I'd like to drive, and that's the Audi RS6, which is finally available in the United States. But that costs more than twice the price of this V90 T6 Inscription. With that being said, let me wrap it up right there. If you've learned something from this video, please consider hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, and also that notification bell so that you can be notified anytime we make a new video. I'll wrap it up right there. My name's Hanson. This has been the 2021 Volvo V90 T6 Inscription, and I'll see you next time.